It's urgent. Your soulmate is about to make the biggest mistake of their life. Dear soul, right now, somewhere far from your eyes, your soulmate is doing something for you that you have never known about. Something quiet, something sacred. And once you hear what it is, you will never look at this waiting the same way again. Before we go any further, I want you to comment the word connected below, so I know your heart is open and ready to receive this message. This is not by accident. You were meant to find this today. Dear beautiful soul, there are things happening with your soulmate that if your eyes could see them, your heart might not be able to hold the emotion. And I am here to share a truth that will move you deeply. Something few people ever get to hear, but that the universe has chosen for you to know right now. That love you feel, that strong pull that simply will not let go. That feeling that does not fade no matter how much time passes. It was never imagination. It was never loneliness playing tricks on you. It has roots. It has meaning. It has direction. And it has a much bigger reason behind it than you think. Welcome to the Angel's Message for You original channel. Please check the channel name carefully. It's Angel's Message for You. This is our only official channel. Beware of copycat and fake channels. Stay connected to the original source to receive authentic angel messages and true blessings. Before we begin, a heartfelt thank you to Monica Mazanek for sowing a seed for Soulmate through your Ko-Fi Super Thanks. May this seed return to you multiplied with soulmate blessings, divine protection, love, well-being, and abundance. May the angels guide and watch over you every step of your journey. Thank you for your beautiful support. Something greater is behind this whole story. Every single day, you feel like there is someone who touches your heart in a way no one else ever has. No matter how busy life gets, no matter how many distractions the world throws at you, there is a name, a face, a feeling that keeps echoing inside you. And no matter how far apart you may feel from this person right now, that feeling does not grow cold. Some days it actually feels stronger. That is not random. There is a bigger force gently guiding all of it. Today, I want to tell you something that might surprise you at first. Your soulmate has been giving their heart to something deeply committed. I know how that sentence might land. Take a breath with me before you keep reading, because what I am about to share is powerful, and it may change the way you understand everything you have been feeling. Here is the truth. Every single day, your soulmate is speaking with something that has an eternal, unshakable commitment to them. Something that does not only listen, but also answers. Something that does not only welcome them, but transforms them from the inside out. That something is the divine. Yes, your soulmate has been quietly, sincerely, and steadily growing closer to spirit. They are placing their whole life, their dreams, their fears, and even the love they carry for you, into the hands of something bigger than both of you. This sacred connection your soulmate has been building exists to bless, protect, and prepare the two of you for a love that was written long before either of you knew each other's name. A love shaped with care, detail, and purpose. As you sit here reading this, I want you to understand something important. None of this is a coincidence. What you feel is not a burden you have to carry alone. It is a seed that was planted in both of your hearts long ago by something wiser than either of you. There is nothing wrong with what you feel. There is nothing wrong with wanting something real and true with the one your soul simply recognizes. What you feel is real, and it is part of something much bigger than a passing feeling. Your soulmate, maybe without ever telling you, has been praying for this love, asking for guidance, asking for strength, asking for wisdom. They surrender quietly, in a private place no one else sees, but where everything sacred begins. Every day they reach toward something higher, trying to understand what they are feeling, what is coming, and what the two of you truly mean to each other. This is exactly why this message found you today. To remind you that you have not been forgotten. To show you that even when everything around you feels silent, something is still working behind the scenes. Right now, in this very moment, your soulmate is being shaped, softened, and strengthened in spirit, quietly getting ready to live out something that was already written for the both of you. This spiritual awakening happening inside your soulmate is stronger than any words could ever capture. It is a true, deep, unbreakable bond, and that is something to be grateful for, because there is no safer place for love to rest than in the hands of something bigger than us. There are truths that, once revealed, completely change what we feel, what we think, and even how we look back on the time that has already passed. Sometimes life feels like it is stuck on pause. Your heart is held by a feeling that refuses to leave, and you find yourself wondering why this connection will not dissolve, even when everything around you seems to be drifting apart. I am talking about something sacred, a quiet offering your soulmate has been making, far away from the eyes of the world, but very close to the heart of the divine. You know that strong feeling you carry, that strange certainty you cannot always explain. The answer to that feeling is above you. It lives in the private conversations your soulmate has been having with something higher. It lives in the prayers whispered with a heart full of faith, in the tears no one else has seen, but that have been gathered and honored, one by one. Your soulmate is searching for answers the world could never give them. They are trusting the love they feel for you into the hands of something that sees everything clearly. And that is exactly why you still feel this pull. That is why this bond between you exists even as time passes, even when your paths seem to have grown apart. A connection between two souls tied together for a real purpose cannot be broken by things that are only temporary. And when one soul turns towards something higher, something begins to shift far deeper than any visible action could ever show. This secret was never hidden out of unkindness or forgetfulness. It is, in truth, a reflection of how pure this love really is. Your soulmate understood, somewhere deep inside, that this feeling could not be handed over carelessly or at just any random moment. That is why they turned toward something sacred before turning toward anyone else for guidance. And that choice changes everything, because when you seek what is sacred first, everything that follows tends to be led with far more wisdom. Your soulmate is being guided with love, faith, and direction. And you, even without realizing it, have been part of this quiet spiritual journey all along. So many times, what we call distance is actually a sacred season of preparation. A time when something higher shapes, heals, and strengthens not only the person we love, but also ourselves. All of this is part of the gentle care surrounding this love. If your soulmate is walking this spiritual path, you can trust they are on the right road, because true growth never comes through shortcuts. It comes through the slow, honest path of truth. And something is listening, something is caring, something is leading. Your soulmate has chosen to do what many people never find the courage to do, to place everything into the hands of something bigger than themselves. That alone is already proof of real maturity, real faith, and real purpose. It shows this love is being taken seriously, and that there is a genuine desire to build something lasting, pure, and blessed. There are things only something greater than us can ever fully explain. And once you understand who your soulmate has been connecting with, you will realize that what you are living through right now is not wasted time, not confusion, and not emptiness. It is part of a bigger, gentler care than you ever imagined. Yes, your soulmate is deeply connected to something, but maybe not in the way the world usually understands connection. This bond is not based on appearances or loneliness or the need to fill an empty space. It is a daily, intimate, sacred relationship with something that never disappoints, never abandons, and never makes mistakes. Your soulmate is living out a kind of commitment that goes far beyond words. It is the commitment of trusting their whole life to something they cannot fully see, of recognizing that the love they feel needs to be blessed before it is fully lived, of understanding that no matter how strong a feeling is, it needs something sacred holding it steady, so it does not get lost along the way. It is easy to doubt what you cannot see. It is natural to question things when nothing seems to be happening on the surface. But once you hear that your soulmate is quietly connecting with something sacred every single day, you begin to understand why so much still lives inside you. This love has not been buried. It has been cared for, and something greater than either of you has been guarding everything that truly matters. Every day, your soulmate carries their feelings for you into this sacred space. It is not a simple, casual thought. It is an act of real trust. Every prayer, every quiet request, every word spoken in faith is being held somewhere safe, and nothing spoken with true sincerity ever goes unanswered. If you feel something still beating steadily inside you, it is because your soulmate's quiet prayers have been reaching you in ways you may not even recognize. Your soulmate is walking through a deep, quiet inner transformation. And you are part of it, even if you cannot fully see it, because this person is not only asking for wisdom, they are also asking for this very feeling between you to be blessed, and for both of your hearts to be prepared for what is coming. That is exactly why this message found you today. It was not random. You were led here because something meaningful is unfolding, something that involves you directly. Your soulmate is showing up for this inner work every single day, seeking answers where truth actually lives, placing their emotions in the hands of something that understands even what we cannot explain to ourselves. That takes real courage, real faith, real surrender. You no longer need to doubt whether what you feel is real. You no longer need to fight against a feeling that simply refuses to disappear. What you feel has value. It has roots. It has a destination. And it is being carefully held while time does its quiet work of preparing you both. If your soulmate is walking this sacred path, know that you are being remembered in some of the most sincere prayers of their life. That alone is proof that something strong and true is being built, even before your eyes can fully see it. There is something powerful happening in this quiet bond. It has nothing to do with rigid rules or empty repetition. It is about a living, intimate relationship built on trust. Your soulmate is building a relationship with something sacred based on honesty. And when someone truly leans into that kind of truth, there is no more room left for doubt or illusion. What remains is what actually lasts, what has roots, what was placed in the heart for something bigger than a passing moment. It was in this quiet space of faith and surrender that your soulmate's love for you was kept safe. A love that, instead of being handed over carelessly, was carried gently and offered up with reverence. That is exactly why you feel what you feel. Because a connection between two people who pray, who place themselves in something bigger's hands, who love each other honestly, goes beyond simple logic. And if your love is tied to something sacred, then this feeling is also being shaped, blessed, and guided. This quiet devotion between your soulmate and something higher is exactly what sustains hope on the days everything feels uncertain. It is what keeps alive the desire to live something real, even when reality tests the very edges of your faith. A heart that turns towards something sacred is filled with patience, wisdom, and the courage to wait for the right moment. This quiet commitment your soulmate carries is one of the greatest gifts they could ever give you, even if you have not fully realized it yet, because before this love is fully yours, it is already being protected by something powerful enough to shield it from anything that could break it apart. Dear soul, before we continue, I want to invite you to take a quiet moment of faith for your soulmate. If today's message has stirred your heart, perhaps it's because your soulmate needs God's wisdom, protection, and guidance more than ever. We can't control another person's choices, but we can pray that the Lord gently directs their steps and guards them from decisions that could lead them away from His perfect plan. If you feel led, you can sow a seed for your soulmate through Ko-Fi Super Thanks. You'll find the Ko-Fi link in the video description and the pinned comment. May God surround both you and your soulmate with His peace, protect your journey together, and lead you both exactly where He wants you to be. Amen. When you think about connection, you probably picture something visible, something your eyes can actually see. But there are connections that never reveal themselves through ordinary senses. They are bonds that exist in another layer of life, where true feelings meet real faith, and where the soul is quietly shaped by something sacred. That is exactly the space where your soulmate has been connecting. Every single day, while the world spins on with its noise and urgency, a sacred moment quietly happens. A moment when your soulmate closes their eyes, lowers their head, or simply speaks silently to something higher. It is in that exact moment that the bond grows stronger. It is then that a bridge opens between the heart and something greater, invisible but deeply real. This invisible bond between your soulmate and something sacred is what has kept this love strong, in a way time simply cannot erase. When everything feels uncertain, when the path ahead feels winding, it is that quiet inner surrender that reorganizes the emotions and reignites the hope. Your soulmate has been learning, day after day, to trust something bigger than their own desires. That is one of the clearest signs of real inner growth, because trusting something you cannot fully see is never easy. Do not think this quiet inner journey is just an abstract idea. It is producing real results. With every honest surrender, a little more weight lifts off the heart. With every step taken in faith, the path lines up more closely with what is meant to be. And it is through this slow, steady sequence of inner work that true love actually gets built, not on anxiety, but on trust. It is beautiful to picture two people meeting and falling into a deep love. But it is even more beautiful to know that before that happens, one of them is quietly seeking wisdom, asking to love the right way. That shows this feeling is not shallow, that this connection is not fleeting, that the love tying you to your soulmate is being handled with real care. Maybe you never imagined you were being remembered by your soulmate in their most private moments of reflection. But now that you know, it changes the weight of your own hopes too, because from this point forward, the two of you can strengthen this connection together, alongside something greater than both of you. The love of two people who hold onto faith, even on separate paths, meets somewhere deeper than either of you could reach alone. And that meeting is where understanding, patience, respect, and real preparation are born. So let yourself feel some peace. Your soulmate's quiet surrender is not a sign of distance. It is a sign of closeness. Closeness to what is true, to what is lasting, to what is being built on solid ground. What is born through quiet devotion blooms with real purpose. And if this person is dedicating themselves this way, it is because there is a genuine desire to build this love the right way, with something sacred at the very center of it. There are feelings that do not appear by chance. There are bonds that are never simply born from exchanged words or lucky coincidences. Real love is never built only through closeness or time spent together. It is carefully planted by something that already knows exactly what each heart needs. It may feel like everything is on pause right now, but real timing never fails. And the most beautiful part is that this seed was planted in both hearts at the exact same time. Even with completely different stories, even with different personalities, your soulmate carries this same feeling too. Because when two people are meant to grow together, they are prepared with the same amount of care, even if they are moving at slightly different speeds. Your soulmate is going through this exact same process, being nourished daily through their own quiet reflection, through trust, through surrender. They are being transformed from the inside in places human eyes simply cannot reach. And even if you cannot see it clearly yet, everything is being handled with real precision. Your love was planted with real intention. And that alone changes everything, because when something begins with true purpose, it also comes with real support behind it, guiding it, sustaining it, protecting it. If you have carried this feeling so carefully, even through hard days, it is because something inside you has been quietly keeping this seed alive. Do not let anxiety try to pull out what is still quietly being nurtured inside your heart. Time may try to confuse you. Circumstances may seem to work against you, but faith already knows what your eyes cannot yet see. Nothing meaningful is ever planted without intention. And if this love was allowed to grow, it is because something good is already being prepared for the future, something that will make sense of every stage you are living through right now. This love was planted with purpose, and promises rooted in something true rarely fail. It does not matter what things look like right now. What matters is who or what is guiding the process. And when something sacred plants a seed, it also guarantees the harvest. If there is one thing you should hold on to firmly right now, it is that nothing true ever moves through improvisation. It does not build stories on shaky ground, and it does not act on impulse. Everything that comes from something real has direction, intention, and purpose. And when it comes to true love, that care runs even deeper. Because to something eternal, love is never a distraction. It is a plan. You may have tried to make sense of it all with logic. You may have searched for quick answers or even tried to move on entirely. But what exists between you and your soulmate does not follow ordinary human formulas. There is something deeper, more rooted, something placed inside you both with real intention. Every choice, every prayer, every quiet reflection is being watched over, not to test you, but to prepare you. Living something great always requires maturity. It requires a willing heart. That is exactly why time sometimes feels like it is testing your patience. Not because you have been forgotten, but because something inside you is being strengthened for what is coming. Your soulmate is part of this same process. As you already know, they have been genuinely seeking, trusting, surrendering. And when two people are being shaped at the same time, even from different places, what gets built between them has real strength to last. It is not surface level. It is love with a spiritual foundation underneath it. Real purpose does not need to follow ordinary human patterns to be real. Sometimes what looks confusing from the outside is being perfectly arranged on the inside. You do not need everything explained to you before you can trust it. You just need to stay willing to keep nurturing what was already planted. Have you ever stopped to wonder what actually brought you to this message today? Maybe it was a quiet nudge in your heart, an unexplainable curiosity, or simply a feeling that you needed to hear something different today. But I want to tell you with full certainty, none of this happened by accident. You did not stumble onto this message randomly. You were guided here by something far greater than coincidence, something that understands your heart better than you understand it yourself. Life can feel disordered sometimes. Emotions can feel tangled, and the day can feel full of unanswered questions. But somewhere in the middle of all that tangled feeling, there is direction. And that direction is what led you here, because whatever needed to be revealed today needed to reach your heart exactly now. Not before, not after. Right at this moment, when you have been quietly trying to understand everything you feel, everything you have lived through, and everything that still beats inside you without a clear explanation. You are here because you are part of something being carefully built. A plan that touches your life, your future, and the love you carry. And even if the road has felt confusing, even if you have questioned everything at some point, the simple fact that you are here right now is proof that something meaningful is being revealed to you, one step at a time. It is as if something quietly whispered, "I have not forgotten you. I have not left this love up to chance. I have been taking care of it." And here is something important. Your soulmate has also been guided. They have been seeking honestly, offering sincere reflection, and surrendering to something they may not be able to fully explain yet. And while that happens on their side, you are being led down a slightly different path, but toward the very same meeting point. This shows you are not disconnected. You are being shaped. You have not been lost. You are being gently molded. And even if your eyes have not seen it yet, your hearts are still responding to the same quiet call. This connection is not only yours, it is alive in your soulmate too. And something that knows the truth of every feeling is caring for this bond with real attention, protecting what is true and clearing away what no longer serves it. Maturing this love so that when the right moment comes, it will be lived fully, not in doubt but in confidence. While you sit here trying to understand what you feel, while you carry a heaviness in your chest and a longing you cannot quite put into words, something is working quietly behind the scenes. It is tending to your heart and at the very same time working through your soulmate's life. It does not matter where either of you is right now. You are both being held by something that already knows the paths before they even take shape. Whatever you feel and whatever your soulmate feels is fully understood. What no one else notices is noticed. What no one else hears is heard. Even what you cannot fully explain to yourself is understood completely. And even if you are walking separate paths right now, what is being built in the unseen is far greater than any distance you can feel on the surface. So many loves fade because they try to bloom before they are ready. But when two hearts are being shaped at the same time, there is real wisdom guiding the process. Sometimes what looks like separation is actually protection. It is a way of keeping something precious from being given away before it is truly ready. Real love needs emotional and spiritual structure to withstand the winds that inevitably come. And here is what is most powerful about all of this. Even if you are not physically together right now, you are still connected through the same quiet faith. Because when two people are being held by something greater, even in different places, they keep walking toward the same shared destination. Nothing is wasted in this process. Every day carries purpose. Every emotion, every quiet reflection, every moment of hope contributes to what is being built. If you feel like there is something invisible holding this love together, trust that feeling, because you are right. There is a quiet, guiding hand over this entire story. And if you cannot see the fruit of it yet, it is simply because the roots are still being watered, pruned, and strengthened. What is born with real purpose needs time before it is ready to bloom in full. Something greater has its own way of speaking, not always through loud, direct words, but through small moments that touch the heart in a way nothing else can. It does not usually explain itself through long speeches. It confirms itself through little details that might seem ordinary at first glance, but carry real meaning for anyone paying close attention. All of this will be a gentle way of showing you that you are not imagining any of this alone. So many people overlook these quiet signs because they are waiting for something loud and dramatic. But what is truly sacred rarely makes noise. It usually shows up with peace. That light, steady certainty. That feeling of, I needed this today. And that is exactly what will happen for you in the coming days. A series of quiet confirmations will help you understand that nothing shared here was an exaggeration. It was a real truth about to show up in your everyday life too. Dear soul, before we continue, I'd like to invite you to do something truly meaningful for your soulmate journey. The bond between soulmates is precious, and at times, it can feel vulnerable to negativity, envy, or the evil eye from the world around us, even when no harm is intended. If your heart is calling you to cover this connection with an extra layer of love, faith, and protection, you can sow your seed for your soulmate through Ko-Fi Super Thanks. You'll find the Ko-Fi link in the video description and the pinned comment. This simple act can become a heartfelt expression of your intention, inviting the angels to watch over your soulmate connection. Surround it with divine light and guide it as it continues to grow in the right time and in the right way. If you feel led to do so, thank you from the bottom of my heart. May your kindness return to you multiplied, and may your soulmate journey be filled with peace, hope, and divine guidance. Let's continue with the angel message. It might show up as someone saying exactly what you needed to hear. It might be a vivid, memorable dream. It might be a wave of unexpected peace while you are simply sitting quietly with your thoughts. Or maybe something completely outside your control will happen. Something that makes you feel a steady, guiding presence surrounding you. These signs are not meant to confuse you. They are meant to confirm what your heart already suspects. And it will not only be you who notices. Your soulmate will notice signs too. Nothing sacred works in imbalance. When something meaningful is being built between two people, both sides are cared for equally. The same quiet presence touching your heart right now is touching your soulmate's life too. This means that even without realizing it, you are both walking toward a point where everything will start making a lot more sense. Staying open to these signs does not mean living in constant expectation of daily miracles. It simply means keeping your heart open enough to notice the gentle reminders that you are exactly where you are meant to be. That kind of awareness does not come from anxiety. It comes from faith. The kind of faith held by someone who knows that what is meant to be fulfilled eventually will be. The kind of faith that recognizes something meaningful even in the smallest details of ordinary life. And when these signs come, because you will remember everything shared here today. You will understand that what you feel makes sense. That your soulmate is being guided too. That this love has not been forgotten. That the promise is very much alive. And that something true remains faithful in every detail, every stage, every quiet answer. If there is something worth honoring deeply, it is what is born from true love. When something meaningful blesses a feeling, it also commits to the story that will unfold from it. Today, this is a reminder that a deeper commitment surrounds this love. From the very beginning, when this feeling first bloomed inside you so intensely, something greater was already present. You do not need to understand everything right now. You only need to trust, because the love that gets sealed with real commitment is exactly the love that gets protected, guided, and fulfilled. And that is precisely what is happening between you and your soulmate. This love is being carefully cared for by something bigger than either of you. It does not matter how many turns life has taken, or how many doubts have crept in along the way. What was promised still stands. This deeper commitment is not only about comforting you through the waiting. It is also about leading you toward the fulfillment of what was planned all along. And that same commitment has been sustaining your soulmate's feelings too. They have placed their own story into something bigger's hands, asking for guidance, strength, and clarity. And that guidance has been answering, even if you cannot see it directly. There is real movement happening in the unseen. There is surrender. There is searching. There is transformation. Both of you are being cared for because this love was entrusted to something greater than either of you. That is exactly why, even through every hardship, something inside you stays steady. Because this promise never depended on circumstances. It is sustained by something faithful, something that does not abandon what it once promised to bless. When something sacred commits to a story, it moves everything necessary to see it through. If you have made it this far, if you have listened with an open heart, it is because you are already being prepared to witness this promise coming true. Not in a rush, but with faith. Not with anxiety, but with quiet trust. Because when something true finally delivers on its promise, it delivers more than you expected. It restores what was broken. It strengthens what was fragile. It gives new meaning to what once felt lost. You are not here by chance. This message is not a pretty illusion meant to comfort you for a moment and then disappear. It is a real confirmation, a gentle reminder that this promise is still active. And more than that, it is being handled with the same care a devoted parent gives to something they truly cherish. You and your soulmate are both in preparation. You are both being cared for, strengthened, and gently transformed. And all of it is part of something bigger unfolding. So many times, the waiting has made you question whether there was still something real between you. On some days, you may have felt like you were walking alone, trying to keep something distant feeling alive. But today, you understand it was never loneliness. It was purpose. This love was never stagnant. It was being shaped the whole time. And your soulmate has also been walking this same inner path, seeking, reflecting, and surrendering. This is proof that something much bigger is unfolding, far beyond what your eyes can currently see. No distance can erase what is truly protected. No circumstance holds the power to undo what has already been sealed through quiet devotion. The love between you and your soulmate is being built on solid, lasting ground. It is pure, strong, and full of real purpose. And when something like this comes into being, it does not simply get watched from afar. It gets acted on, sustained, held. The person your heart beats for is being guided by the very same light that led you here today. Even walking different paths, you have both been touched by the same presence. You are both being aligned by the same quiet force, step by step, prepared to live out a love that will not feel shallow, will not feel confusing, will not feel incomplete, but instead whole, healed, aware, and truly blessed. So trust. Trust like someone who already knows they are being cared for. Trust like someone who finally rests after a long wait, because something greater has confirmed what their heart already suspected. And when confirmation comes from something true, it does not fade. It settles in. It changes how you see everything. You are not lost. You are being guided. And what you feel is not simply drifting through time. It is being held by something eternal. From today forward, look at the days ahead with a fresh perspective. Stay attentive to the signs. Notice how gentle, simple messages start reaching you in unexpected ways. Let yourself feel that presence surrounding you, even in the small details. And more than that, keep feeding your faith, because what is coming will need a light, willing, hope-filled heart to receive it fully. Your soulmate is also being awakened, and this love you share is being honored in ways you cannot fully see yet. None of this waiting has been in vain. The feelings that have stayed with you until now were never deceptive. What you have lived through carries real, lasting value. And if this promise says it will be fulfilled, then believe it, because nothing can stop it now. Your story has been written with real love, and love built this way is never truly lost along the way. It matures, it endures, it blooms exactly when the time is right. This message does not end here. It is really the beginning of a whole new understanding, a turning point within you. Keep listening to your own quiet inner knowing. Keep strengthening yourself through reflection and faith. Keep believing that what has been promised will be fulfilled, because what is truly honored is never allowed to be destroyed. In the days ahead, stay watchful. This promise will start showing clearer and clearer signs. Your heart will feel it. You will recognize it when it happens. And when it does, remember everything shared with you today. Something greater is deeply committed to this love, to you, and to what is coming, and it is about to show you what only a patient, faithful heart can wait to witness. And always remember, this message will keep finding you, gently guiding you, protecting you, and connecting with you again and again. Thank you for being here, for opening your heart, and for allowing this quiet moment of connection to reach you today. You matter deeply to this journey of light. You are the reason messages like this get to exist at all, part of a mission to bring love, hope, and protection to every soul who is searching for it. May peace be with you always. May you feel courage and clarity to face whatever comes your way. Know that you are never truly alone. There is always something greater standing beside you, sending strength and steady love, so that you can remain grounded, confident, and radiant. Thank you for being part of this quiet circle of light. May peace and blessing stay with you today, tomorrow, and always with all the love in the world. Dear beautiful soul, this angel's message for you channel is a sacred spiritual home, created for faith, healing, and divine guidance. A place where hearts awaken and lives are gently transformed through divine messages. We warmly invite you to subscribe and stay connected, because the divine is always preparing something greater for your journey, something you are meant to receive in divine timing. If you feel moved to support this mission, you can sow your seed here for your soulmate blessings and divine love fulfillment. Your contribution is not just support. It is an energetic agreement with love, healing, and divine alignment in your own life. When you give with intention, it opens doors. Love flows more freely, happiness expands, and abundance multiplies in unexpected ways. Many believe that giving in faith activates a return of peace, joy, and emotional fulfillment in relationships and life. Whether it is $11, $22, $33, or $55, your generosity helps us continue spreading these divine messages of hope, healing, and soulmate guidance across the world. Every seed sown into this mission helps hearts heal, faith return, and souls reconnect with love. This is more than a channel. It is a movement of light, unity, and divine timing. Your support allows this sacred work to grow, touching lives that are searching for answers, comfort, and spiritual direction. We are all connected in this journey, and together we rise as one community under divine love. Let us open our hearts to the abundance that is already on its way. Amen.